Hey there, welcome back to Nathan's Garage. I'm Nathan Kershaw and thank you for your patience. I know it's been a while. In today's video we have lots of planes and lots of XR stuff. Brakes, cooling, steering, cam belts, SMOG, loads of stuff. And also, tomorrow I'm going to be giving a bit of a life update. Plenty of people have been asking, what's happening with you? I'm doing great, but I will go into that in more detail. What is going to be happening with the future of Nathan's Garage? Am I going to be doing frame swaps? Am I going to be doing just tinkering from now on? I'm going to answer that all tomorrow in just a talky video. So, let's get on. It's raining in September in LA. What is happening right now? Before we do anything with the transmission pan gasket, I'm just going to give it all a clean. I'm going to spray it up and power wash it because I always work in dirty areas. And I want it to be clean. I want this car to be clean and all YouTube-ish. Well, that was one hell of a storm. I can officially say that LA was hit by a hurricane. Now I know what you're gonna say. The discs, they're a touch on the rusty side. But, you know, it's all in personal judgment. There's no lip. That's all I'm bothered about. And these are probably not gonna be staying on long anyway. So, the realities of Californian 20-year-old plastic. Yeah, so line is going to come out, but she's not going to see much wet weather apart from today because we're in a hurricane. So we are doing caliper sliders. Gonna whip that boot off, go down to AutoZone, grab one. This isn't supposed to be loose, right? It's not supposed to be actually loose and not tightened up. Okay. We're doing the steering boot on the steering rack, and this is my third one. Off Jeff Herson at Merca Parts Midwest, who's the XR god. But still, it was a lot narrower than the diameter, and I asked my friend Volvo Yoda, what's a trick to be able to get it on if it's really, really tight? Because the access around the actual rack itself isn't good, so I can't just get two thumbs on to pull it over. So found a socket that was the same diameter as that, the old boot. And obviously with more room I'm able to manhandle it on and then hit it with the heat gun and then let it cool down. So I'm hoping it'll have stretched it out and it'll go on fairly easy. We have made a little bit of progress into the timing belt. A few bits are off, water pump pulley and stuff. And then if you look down there, you're going to see on the lower pulley bolt a breaker bar going to the floor, because what we're about to do is wire off the coil, turn the engine over, and it's going to undo the lower pulley bolt. Yes, sounds nuts, but I remember doing this on my very first Merca the last time I did a timing belt, and it worked. This is either going to work spectacularly or this breaker bar is going to spin round and smash my phone to pieces. So this could be the end of the chapter for this phone or the beginning of a chapter for this car. There you go. Work to treat. When working on your own, sometimes you got to improvise. So this is the timing belt tensioner. I didn't get a new one, and luckily it ain't noisy, so that makes me happy. But to release the tension on that, because it's an automatic one, you have to push it back and then tighten this ball behind. So what I tended to do, or what I just did, is find your well, first of all, breaker bar. Now you're not pushing on the roller, obviously you're pushing on the old belt, so don't worry about it being unfriendly. And then you take your best firewood that's reserved for Christmas. That firewood goes against the chassis leg, and then you'll use it as a leverage point and push the tensioner away, and then tighten that little 13mm and tighten the tensioner in the kind of the loose position away from the belt. Game on. And a plane. I know after watching these series of videos that many of you are going to be hankering after an XR, knowing that you can't live any longer without one. Top tip, only use a genuine Motorcraft PCV, EV127A. Don't use a crappy aftermarket silver one. They don't work. I did notice that the idle was a touch erratic and the boost gauge wasn't working. So, in investigating that is the end of the hose, which was supposed to go onto the back of the boost gauge. Little bit of a vacuum leak. Next job. We have vacuum and a steady idle. Oh, it's not jumping all over the place. Lovely job. Well, yes, as you can see, the tack doesn't work. Is that tack? The rev counter, whatever it's called. That doesn't work. That's a job for down the road. Guys, seriously, this car is heavenly. It drives so well. I think because of the stale fuel, it's pinging its brains off when it gets to about 8 pounds. And I'm thinking the stale fuel has really low octane, so that probably explains that. So I need to kind of get this tank through it. But yeah, oh my god, it just drives and idles so even with that boost gauge hose off. It was missing, and when it came to a stop it would cut out, all sorts of stuff. And it is just, the car feels so tight, and like all the grips are still on the steering wheel. This is such a nice car, it really is. Time to give her a bath before her SMOG trip tomorrow morning. I'm a simple kind of guy when it comes to washing. No 2 cars, 1 bucket, and all that kind of stuff. Some nice cheap on-offer car wash, a sponge, and clean it. At this point, I really would have liked to have filmed the whole SMOG process, but if I'm being brutally honest, it was fraught with fraughts. The car was running super hot the entire time, puking water, pinging its brains out, and running well, but just running so hot. On the plus side, she passed with flying colours, but something had to be done. And here we go. This is the last time that she is going to have that head gasket underneath that head. The time has come. Head bolts are coming out. There we go. I haven't looked at the underside yet. I'm saving that as a surprise to myself. Anybody taking a head out on your own? Throw some cardboard on, because you can rest it on there and not scratch or dent anything. Let's have a look. So, no lips, which is kind of nice. Rough though. Cross hatching, beautiful. Pistons, one piece. No, not too ugly, because it did rattle its bollocks off going up the tuner. Water jacket, definitely on the blockhead side. Cool. Okay, I didn't put a flush through it before I did this, because I really wanted to see the extent of the blockage, you know, as the car was when it was running as hot as it was on Saturday when it got smogged. Yeah, so I mean, that's totally blocked. There has been water running. I expected it worse, but you know, whatever. Whatevs. Right. Oh, beautiful thing about doing shit like this is the clips that you couldn't get to when you were deleting shit. Bye bye. Right, I'm going to take this oil pressure switch off and flip her over. I've officially turned into one of those guys that buys more stuff than he can fit. So head gasket kit, head bolts, cam seal, which I didn't need to buy because it's in the headset. Black Permatex, which we're going to need a lot of. Top hose for a Volvo 850. You may ask why. Because I have a radiator for a Volvo 850. It's pretty close, but the top hose diameter is different. So I spliced in the top hose to the XR top hose. Got a water temperature sensor coming with a gauge, so we can actually figure out what the hell kind of temperature she's running at. And then, because this is an iron head, whoa, this could be good. Nothing for me. The water temperature gauge and sensor is supposed to be here. It was rule-la-la for the wife. Back to the head. Because it's iron, I welded on it. We were super close to the edge of the gasket, and I was wondering whether I was going to have to run a dry intake and take water off the core plug at the back. But Volvo Yoda was like, it's iron, welding it. This head starts to go down into this black hole from fairly wide. When I took the inlet manifold off, it was wet, fairly wide. So I built this up so it's now well within the gasket. The reason why it's got a ridge there is because this sinks down, so I'm going to be putting Permatex schlonk all around here and over a lot of this mating surface. Didn't have the head skimmed or anything. Can't see any cracks. Checked it with a flat edge. Totally flat, or as flat as these heads ever were. And then the water passages all cleaned, so opened up, wire wheeled the combustion chamber, all that good stuff. So today, because it's my anniversary this coming weekend, this Halloween, I'm going to be going away for a couple of days, and I want to get the inlet manifold on this side with a load of schlonk, not tightened down, and then when I get back I can tighten it down and create a really, really good seal. So that is what is going to be happening today. And also one other really cool thing that came from Tim Spencer on in the XR world is, where'd he go? It's over here. Look at that. Rear disc brake kit. So we'll do a bit of an unboxing of that. But right now, let's get on with this big old iron elephant in the room. I'm back from my jollies, and it was a really good time. Thank you for asking. Left the Permatex on for an hour and then tightened it down, so this has been on for days. Put camshaft back in, followers, all that good stuff, so it's all greased. New cam seals in. So now, I've been round this with about 5 times with a blade and sandpaper, and everything is clean. All the bolt holes are clean as well. So it is time for the head to go back on. Okay. Oh, we're on. Ha ha! We are on. Beautiful. Okay. One thing that Volvo Yoda said is put some engine oil on the threads and then you will get a true torque reading. First pass is supposed to be 50 to 60 pounds and then the second pass is 80 to 90 pounds. So I'll probably do, middle of both. Well, that was weird. I feel like some are a lot tighter than others, but we'll see how she do. A fair amount of progress has been made since I last spoke to you guys. So head is on, cam belts in, all that good stuff. Main thing I want to get done on the engine before tonight is I want to get the thermostat housing on, because we're going to need some Permatex schlonk that needs to set overnight, because hopefully we'll get her started tomorrow. I have found the brake leak. There we go, rear wheel cylinder, just like I thought. What I've done now is I have pulled the radiator, because you know, everything to do with the cooling is absolutely done on this car. So I pulled the radiator, XR radiator, Volvo 850 radiator, slightly different but very similar. I tried to get, like, you know, all the XR specific ones from the XR suppliers, but nobody's got anything in stock right now. That was like $50. So I'm gonna go and get the 850 fan as well from Volvo Yoda and see if I can make that work on that. See if I've got the, you know, the depth clearance that I need for that. So I'm just gonna start comparing to see. I put a Volvo radiator on the red one that I sold to Hoonigan, and it's narrower. So I need to build extensions off the end to meet these mounting points, and I need to build extensions up as well to meet the top of the front panel here as well. But yeah, nice shiny bits. I was glad I bought a new radiator anyway, but definitely reinforces the good decision I made in buying a new radiator. So I think what I'll do tomorrow is probably chop that there, take these buffers out, run some flat stock out to the proper width, drill a hole, done. Those are the bottom mounts, and then the top mounts, you can see they just go out at an angle like that to meet the front panel, and then we'll figure out some kind of radiator, no, not radiator, fan solution. Note to self, don't time the engine 180 degrees out. And that's going to be it for today. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. And remember, tomorrow I'm going to be dropping a video on life updates. Okay, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.